Hey guys, don't go anywhere. Today I'm going to be reviewing a bunch of brand new Galaxy's Edge merchandise to find out if this stuff is worth the price. Have you seen this lightsaber training remote? Whoa! Can Kylo's helmet change your voice? Is this Holo Chess from the Millennium Falcon a real game or just for decoration? I'll answer all those questions and more, so come hang out. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. If it happens to be your first time, don't hesitate, you guys. Just click the subscribe button, get it over with. And if you happen to like this video, hit the like button. It goes a long way and tells the algorithm I make good content. I feel like I haven't made a video like this in a while. Today should be fun. I've got a bunch of D23 Galaxy's Edge exclusive merchandise to share with you guys, talk prices, and if I think these items are worth the price, and we're going to see if filming after a big lunch was a good idea. The items I'm going to be talking about today, let's take a look. I've got the newest lightsaber training remote from, it's been a lot of stuff, hasn't it? A New Hope, Book of Boba Fett, all that good stuff. I've got Kylo's light up cracked reforged helmet, a new creature at the creature stall, the Dejark light up chessboard, Luke's Skyhopper, and the light up dagger of the Ochi of Battuu. So guys, before I get this video started, I have to share with you guys my newest addition to the Finding the Force team, a very reliable personal shopper that can help get any of this cool merchandise shipped directly to your house. I've actually known him for a couple of years now. He's very established on the Galaxy's Edge merchandise Facebook page, and he's known as Eugene Champagne. I had an excellent experience. He shipped me the lightsaber and training droid, and actually he has the item shipped directly from the theme parks to your house. Here's his Facebook profile, and don't hesitate to ask him some questions and find him on the book. All right, what have we got? I'm going to start with the pieces that I need to put back on my display shelf. It's looking a little bare. Check out Luke's Skyhopper. So this is one of the super random items that got me really excited because toy companies did make several of these items like years ago. So things like this are super hard to find, and the fact that Galaxy's Edge is making them almost to replica quality and scale is pretty exciting for a pretty reasonable price. So this isn't just Luke's Skyhopper from A New Hope, which is probably the movie we most associate it with, but also, of course, we saw it in the Kenobi series, finding out that Obi-Wan saved this and gave it to Luke as a present. This was only $39.95. It did come disassembled, super easy to snap the parts into place, but from memory, I do believe that taking the parts out are going to be very problematic. So heads up about that. Tons of detail. The plastic isn't just one solid toy gray color. It actually has some weathering, which I love. Now, I'm not saying it's the best quality weathering ever, but even some in-universe rough look to the paint is much appreciated. You can see there's not only one, but two pilots separated by this nose here. So if one of them has gas, it's okay, you won't offend the other one. Feel free to check out my buddy's page, Star Wars Replicas. I think he did a comparison to a replica version compared to this one that was only 40 bucks. And frankly, in my opinion, I think this is about as close as it gets. And a really neat, interesting piece that you know all of your Star Wars buddies are going to recognize and appreciate. And the Skyhopper for $39, I definitely am also going to give a thumbs up. I think it's almost near perfect replica. Looks great on display, and sometimes I fly it around when nobody's watching. There we go, right next to Luke's stuff, right up on that shelf. And let's see what we've got next. Hey, look who I have back here. It's the Nexu. This is one of the crazy scary creatures that are clawing at Padme and Anakin in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, while they're being held hostage in that arena. And I'm sure if you've ever been to Galaxy's Edge and Doc Ondar, you can't miss the giant, epic, life-size scale head of the Nexu hanging over the cash register. So this guy's one of the newest creatures they have for sale at the creature stall. It's a little bit pricey at about $54.95. However, it does two different features, but let's take a close look. How could something be so cute and so scary at the same time? Beady little black, 4 eyes, sharp, scary teeth. The fur is soft, but has a little bit of a wiry texture to it. The spines on its back are rubber. I would say very durable without kids yanking and trying to pull them out. I don't really see these going anywhere. Same material as the tail, which is pretty firm and rigid and actually separates at the very end. That's kind of morbid. Hey, look at that. It's actually, I didn't even realize that there's like a very thick wire inside, so it is bendable and you can change directions of the shape. All 4 of the legs actually have joints, kind of like an action figure, for different walking or standing poses. And let's get to the good part, that there's actually 2 buttons on either side, which causes his mouth to... That is cool that when you squeeze the buttons and open his mouth again, it does trigger the next sound and you don't have to wait for the last one to play out. And once you've activated him, there is also a pressure sensor, I believe, up on his head. So he does purr if you pet him. And of course, like most toys, if you ever need to replace the batteries, you can just jimmy open this Velcro seam here on his underbelly. Every trip, some creature manages to find its way into our luggage. So I had to bring this back for my son who loves creepy, scary stuff. Is this worth $54.95? Gosh, man, $54.95. Man, that's a really tough call. I mean, whoa, no offense, little buddy. Pretty steep price. I haven't caught my daughter trying to snuggle with this. I think because the fur is a little bit more coarse. It's a super accurate, fun toy version of this creature. They did an excellent job. Nothing about this feels cheap to me. Oh, that's a tough call. I'm gonna say yes, because it has 2 different features with petting and squeezing and talking. And also the parts seem really durable, so thumbs up. The next item that has to go back on the shelf, which I did pick up as kind of an impulse buy, is the Dagger of Ochi of Battuu, which I found out after purchasing it has a very awful and terrible history. I am a collector of unique treasures scattered all over the Star Wars galaxy, so I figured why not pick this up and check it out for myself. Some of you fans may have forgotten, this is an artifact that Rey uses to find the Sith Wayfinder on the destroyed Death Star 2. However, this dagger does belong to an assassin named Ochi of Battuu. It is carved in, if I could angle it just right here, the ancient Sith language. This is also a retractable piece that we remember seeing. I think some blood from one of the characters is put on the end there. It does retract back into the blade like that, or the sheath. Oh, quiet down back there. And similar just to the Skyhopper, there is just a faint amount of weathering that we can see over here on like, what do you call this? The guard, but just below the blade. I believe this was a D23 exclusive. They might still be selling these. And I think one of my favorite things about this is the grip. It has a very interesting and accurate, like leather wrapped texture to it. You can feel the ridges from the different layers. And this is what you twist to open and expose the battery pack if you ever need to change the battery. If you have the gold piece over here on the left, what you do is you hold your thumb right here at the base of the dagger, and something cool happens. Whoa! It totally glows and lights up. And maybe a lot of you out there don't know there's actually 2 settings. This is the breathing setting where you can see the light is fluctuating. There we go, try and angle it a little better for you guys. And then if you hold your thumb here on the same point, just gently, now it's just on an on setting, which is a little bit brighter. Very, very cool. All right, so Ochi's dagger is retailing for $79.99. So, is this worth the price? I think this is one of the items I may have to say, not so much. $79 is pretty steep. If you could ever find this on sale, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And so far, I am super impressed. Look at this Kylo Ren helmet, which is still glowing. I had to pick this up for sure. You want to know why? Because you can't find this anywhere else. The only place I've seen Kylo Ren's helmet cracked and lit up like this is on Etsy for like between, I think, $600 or $800. So I have to tell you guys, I think they did a phenomenal job. I'll even show you some footage here in the dark of how cool this looks, lit up with all the LED cracked lights from his reforged helmet. All the details are there. Everything from where the cracks are located. And there's a couple details you have to know about this helmet. First is the excellent material that they have to cover your eyes when it's dark and allow you to see out of them. It's not plastic, it won't fog up. This helmet actually is surprisingly breathable. The other thing I love about this helmet is that there's actually a super discreet crack, as you can see here, which allows you to separate it just to make it more comfortable to fit it over your head if you're an adult. There is a stretchy material, but it's kind of spring-loaded to snap back together. It did come with 3 different pads, which comfortably allow your head to sit in the helmet. I just applied some stickers. It was super easy. There's actually 2 different modes. There's one mode, the cracks are turned off, and you can press a little discreet button right here to trigger voice lines, or this is the second mode where the lights remain on and you can still do the same thing.
Such pain in you, such anger. I'm going to find you and I'm going to turn you to the dark side.
You guys, oh man, it's a little bit on the quiet side, but the audio is super, super clear, I have to say. So I love the voice taglines. Let me show you how easy it is to put on. Bam. And yes, there is a voice changer to this helmet. I'll show you the dark side. This is actually one of the best quality voice changers I've ever seen in a different helmet. I found it to be pretty accurate and loud as well compared to the other Hasbro helmets. The only unfortunate thing is that the electronics and the way they built it, there's a lot of weight here on the front mask of the helmet. And although they do have a comfortable pad that sits on the bridge of your nose, it can get a little heavy. So cosplaying might be a little challenging. I did do a review of this Kylo helmet and a lesser expensive Kylo Ren lightsaber. I'll put that link to that video right up over in the corner here. That's definitely going to be a much better option for you guys if you're looking to wear it for a long period of time. Short periods of time, glows, lights up, looks rad, but is quite a bit heavier. So is this worth the $150 price tag? I'm going to give a definite thumbs up because of the rarity and the difficulty to find something this cool. And have you guys noticed this thing has been lit up like the entire time I've been doing the video? A lot of electronics will have like an auto shut off. So if you want to turn that on, if you have it on display, it's going to look rad and probably last the duration of your party. And let's take a look at the Dejark or Dedrick Holo Chess board that we see on the Millennium Falcon. Here, you guys got to check this out. I actually have the box because it came with foam that perfectly secures it in place. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep it around. My wife totally gets on me about all the cardboard I try to hide in different nooks of the house. They did an excellent job with the packaging. I've heard so many people when they see this, they go, oh wow. And I promise this is just as cool as it looks on the box. So I'll show you guys in the dark. It looks much cooler that all these pieces actually light up, and watch what happens when I take one off and back on, off and back on. Oh, so cool. We have a red side and a blue side. Turns on the power. There's 5 buttons on each side, and you can actually count your points. Isn't that cool? This one is just for sound effects. And this one is to signal that your turn is over, and it tells the other player it's their turn by having glowing buttons. But yes, essentially this is an entire Holo Chess game. Of course, it comes with a legit instruction manual and 2 different cards that you can keep during the entirety of your game, so you don't forget which piece does what and how each piece has a different name, a different power level. There's a nice up close look, and each piece moves very strategically around the Holo Chess board, very much like regular chess. So it is a full-on game that my son and I are still working on figuring out with our spare time. But frankly, this looks awesome on display. The pieces light up, and the fact that it is an entire game that you can learn to play on yourself is just a bonus. But all the characters here, take a look at a couple of these. For all you Star Wars nuts out there, I'm sure that you'll recognize a lot of these pieces from the scene in our favorite 1977 film. So do I think this is worth the $100 price tag? I'm probably gonna go sure, why not? The light up feature is super cool. The sounds, you can add up points. So these aren't just for decorations, they actually work. No assembly was required. So I'm gonna say this is worth the price tag. Alright guys, last but not least, we have one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Their newest lightsaber and a training remote from A New Hope. Oh! This thing totally surprised me and works great, let me explain. I know you guys wouldn't let me get away with not showing you this lightsaber. It's all plastic, very lightweight. There is a button right here to activate the training experience. This unscrews and actually has a very familiar chassis that looks just like, I'll show you. Let's take a minute to appreciate the super accurate pommel to the Empire Strikes Back, which has the two rivets down here at the bottom. And when you take this out, you have like a more plasticky white version of the Galaxy's Edge chassis. You can unscrew it, probably takes 3 AAAs, I'm guessing. And there's a switch on the back to activate it. It's only missing one thing though, the actual lightsaber activation sound. Kind of a bummer. It goes straight to a hum without actually hearing the ignition of the blade, which is probably the most exciting part. This is the nubbin. It's blue and it changes colors depending on if you accurately attacked the droid or deflected a blaster bolt. This is another collectible that I've been searching the internet for everywhere. And not only does it look weathered and in-universe, but it also lights up your room and is a really fun game. On the back, there are 3 modes. I'm not sure if you guys can see. There's off, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1 is ridiculously easy. It's just to kind of figure out how the game works. 2 is still really, really easy. And 3 is the most fun level. There's actually 2 phases. The easy phase and then the phase where it actually gets a little bit more challenging and fun. On the back here, you can see that the droid can rock forward and backward and rotate left and right using this light here to actually shine a light on your wall as your target for your lightsaber. In the instructions, it asks that you stand a couple feet away and that the training remote is about 6 or 8 feet from a wall. So you can have different light up targets to either block or attack. And I'll show you guys right here some footage of me playing in the dark. After playing a few rounds with this, I would say the remote was mostly accurate almost all the time, like 90%. Did I feel like I blocked, but it didn't trigger inside of the remote? It's still a really fun game. All your younglings are gonna have a blast with it, and I do have to give it a thumbs up. I think this is worth price tag of $89.99. It not only makes a really cool decoration that not many of your friends are going to have on your shelf or on your desk, but is also an actual game to keep those younglings busy if you're on an important business call. Hey guys, if you watched the end of my video, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate you guys. And don't forget to hit up Eugene Champagne, who is on the West Coast in California and can get you anything from the Disneyland or California Adventure theme parks. All right guys, you make sure to take care, be safe, and have an awesome Star Wars day. Block! Nice! Attack! Score!